What's good, fam? Welcome to Subs Over Dubs anime review series. My name is Vision, here with my boy Rebel, and today we're going to be reviewing super popular, recently dropped Chainsaw Man. So,
Ready for it.
just starting off, when was the first time you heard of Chainsaw Man?
It'd have to be when it got announced for the anime.
Okay.
I'm not a big manga reader, so I've heard like whispers and people, but I think the hype around it really started, and I started really wanting to know what it was, and it piqued my interest once they're like, "Yo, it's getting animated." So I'm like, I don't know, and I didn't really want to read the manga. I didn't want no spoilers. I'm like, I want to watch this with because you have people in your ear like, "Oh, it's gonna be the best anime in the world," blah blah blah. So I'm like, let me just go on this. Some people, I have friends that are super.
I mean, if you want to name drop and expose,
Nah, we ain't doing that. We're not doing that. But no, like there's definitely a lot of hype around it, and there's a lot of people that were wanting me to watch it, so I wanted to go in with it. You know how I do, unbiased, and that's really when it started. Was when the announcement was made. What, last year, right?
I believe last
Like
year.
last year, yeah.
They kind of announced it, and then they dropped a trailer. Not like I don't know, maybe 2-3 months ago.
Gotcha.
I didn't watch the trailer, but myself, my younger brothers, they read the manga, and they mentioned to me that it's gonna be pretty good, but they don't know how to say, because they've mentioned other shows to me, and it was not it. They're like,
They lost your trust.
They did. The recommendations from them are on high notice. Like I'll definitely do some backstory search, but basically told me about the anime. They kind of front loaded, be like, it's pretty good manga, but we'll see how it goes when it comes to animation, because it's, from what I was told, it's pretty gory, pretty mature. So like they don't know how much is gonna go from the manga into the anime.
If it was gonna get watered down.
Yeah, how far the censorship how far would it like take away from the original source? So pretty hyped for the season to drop. So yeah, today we're gonna be talking about episode 1. We've both watched it in not only subbed but dubbed, so we'll give the comparison not just from the anime itself, but how we felt the voice actors sub versus dub, as in the name, and give it a kind of critical review over what we thought, our thoughts on episode 1. So start off, characters. Denji, like, what did you think of like the characters you were introduced to so far? Who's like, yeah.
So it was interesting. Like you don't really start off an anime with the kind of like explicitiveness, I guess, if that's the word or that's the way you say
explicit content.
Yeah, it was really explicit. He's talking about the things he's been through and kind of gives a quick backstory of why he looks the way he looks, and you're just like, this guy has been through it. And I kind of liked it just from the jump, because I feel like what they're trying to do is they're trying to make someone relatable. Like, not necessarily in the details, but everyone at some point is down on their luck. They're going through some things, and I like that was right, right from the punch there. Hey, this guy is going through it, and I think that's what a lot of fans and a lot of viewers want to see, is they want to see relatable content. And I was excited. As soon as I saw that, I was like, that's pretty cool.
I'll agree that he's down bad, but I don't think anyone's down bad to eat
like I said,
one slice of bread.
Yeah, no, like I said, but he's relatable. There's been people, and there are people who are down on their luck to that extent, so it's just really cool to kind of acknowledge that, like not everybody's privileged. You have other animes that they're like, we're in these, not name dropping,
I think
but
the underdog,
we're in these schools that have, that feed us 3 times, and it's just like, this guy's really going through it in the real world, and I like that a lot from the get-go.
I will say the underdog story has been told a few times, but I don't think no one
to that extent started this
down.
Different.
Yeah, I was about to say no one started this down low, to my knowledge, on top of my head. Someone can definitely let us know in the comments if we're missing something, but yeah, man, he's definitely starting below zero. He's in the mud for sure.
Facts.
Fighting for slices of bread. But Denji, like you mentioned, relatable. He's definitely struggling. He's not only struggled, he's struggling.
Facts.
Trying to
not even his fault. That's the sad part. That's what makes it even more like, you're like, dang, this man's going through all this. It's not even his fault. So that was one of those things that kind of pulls at the heartstring early. You know, it's like, yo, my dad died. He accrued all this debt. I got to take care of it. And you're just like, dang.
Couldn't be
Couldn't be
me.
me. Exactly.
That
Could
man
not
owed,
be me.
I don't
Pops,
know.
I love you, but that could not be me.
The funny thing is, I don't understand how in the first episode it went from like a couple 100,000 that he needed to owe the Yakuza member to like by the time he did his first demon slay, I guess we want to call it, or devil, not demon, devil slay, he owed like I think it was like 68 million in yen. Like where these? I seen him getting
It's called
conned.
interest charges.
Man.
The longer you finance, it's called a finance charge. I should know about it. I'm bad with money.
Yeah, I seen he definitely hit him with the admin fees, the
Yeah,
finance
he-
fee. I was like,
early,
I was
bro.
like, what?
I pulled out the calculator just to make sure it was correct, bro. Math
Yeah,
was mathing.
My boy was in deep debt, and it couldn't be me. I ain't taking on that L.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how young he was when they showed him in his early years to where he's at now. I think he's 16 right now, right? Or
Has to be. It's like typical.
he's
Like I think like 15,
teenager
16.
for sure. Maybe he was like 9, 8 in the like kind of the flashback, but it's just like to do that for that long, to be just surviving like that, it's crazy.
Off a slice of bread, my guy.
He's over there hustling bread.
So off the first episode alone, because obviously we're keeping up with it on a weekly basis, but just on the first episode alone, give me your review. What do you think about it? Give me some good, some things you were looking for, or what was missing, and then just give me an overall rating.
Overall entry episode into the anime, solid. They did well to kind of give what little information we had about Denji. It's not his full backstory, but we get to see why he's in the situation he's in. I'm curious to know why, like, who the rest of his family. They only talked about his father. So you know, did he have a mother? Where is everyone else? So I'm assuming we'll eventually learn about that later on in the show. But overall, it's pretty good. I like the characters. I definitely shout out to Pachita. He's one and done, unfortunately.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. But I mean, I guess he's always in our hearts. You know what I'm saying?
Power of friendship
Literally.
never dies.
Literally. I was caught off guard when he started talking, and I don't know if we want to call it a dream or.
Yeah, I didn't really know what that was. I don't know if it was like
I
a
guess it's
dream.
Naruto and Kurama.
Yeah.
I'm
They had
guessing.
their own space, I guess.
He said, "I want to see our trade, my heart for basically seeing your journey."
Yeah.
That was a trade, our new contract they made. But yeah, the devils. I keep saying demons, devils.
Ain't Demon Slayer, my guy.
Yeah, it's ain't
It's a
Demon
different
Slayer.
anime.
And devil slayers. The whole devil theme is kind of weird too, because how they kind of show the different devils and how they I guess are come about. Like we had the pumpkin devil or something.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that was something. I'll leave that for my review. We're good.
Yeah,
That's
I was kind of like caught off guard, and then it was just weird. It was kind of funny too, seeing Pachita as a little cute chainsaw dog. But
it was not intimidating, but he was cute.
was cute. I don't know, man. If you see a running chainsaw, I don't know if he
A
can.
chainsaw dog running at you running the other way.
He looks gullible now, and then it's a chainsaw in his face. We'll see. But the only thing I was worried about, I did not think that when they did the CGI, it didn't look terrible, but I'm usually put off by that type of stuff. So like when he went into, I guess, his devil form, the chainsaw man form, I guess we can call it for now. Man, the CGI was tolerable, but I'm a little bit indifferent about it right now. We'll see how it goes, but just to kind of cut my summarization short to give you time, is solid. If I had to give it a number, entry episode 1, probably like a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 5 being average. Yeah.
Okay, that's definitely respectable. For me, it's kind of in the same area. I do have to disagree with you. I think when he went into his chainsaw form, that's to me when, in my opinion, the animation got better, because it was kind of like, it looked a little experimental. I guess it kind of looked like a mix of like Demon Slayer and some of these other new animes, and I didn't know how I felt about it. But you could tell they put the budget into that last scene, that fight scene. I liked it a lot. Like you said, to your point, I really like they gave a lot of like to who Deji is right off the bat, and I like that. But I think what turns me off and what took away from that episode was they're like, yeah, we got these devils, and anyways, we kill them, right? And it's just like there's nothing. They didn't tell us how they came about. What is that background? And it might be one of those things where they're gonna like they want to reveal it little by little, but I think a lot of times when you have newer animes, they at least or the narrator in the beginning at least kind of gives you a little bit of a backstory on them or a little bit of history. But I think it was so focused on Denji that it was like, yeah, by the way, they're here. Anyways, his life sucks, and it's like cool because you get that character development and you get to like get that relatable character. But I think that took time away from kind of setting the universe, and you start to see it in further episodes. But just off that one episode and just based off of everything they've given me, when I put myself in that and I give a review, I'm like, I haven't watched anime ever. I watched that, I give it a 7.5.
7.5. Okay.
Yeah, so we're kind of in agreement in that aspect where it was above average. I like the character development right off the bat, and I like the animation in that last fight scene. But there's just kind of not a lot of information to go on to where if you have one episode to pique your interest, was it really gonna be like I need to watch this?
Maybe you want to know more, and you can come back for the second episode.
But but you need to give me a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? That's why I gave it a 7.5. If I got a little bit more of the devils and kind of just like trying to expand that universe, could have been a solid 8.5 episode. But just in that one, 7.5 easy.
I can understand where you're coming from. The only thing I'll say to that though is, as you mentioned, a lot of different animes maybe give you a little bit more information on world building. The fact that they didn't, maybe they're just trying to go in a different direction. It's different.
That's true too. That's true too. That's why I didn't. It's still solid anime.
It's what you would prefer, but you understand. Like
I understand it for sure. As a seasoned anime watcher, I understand. But my preference would have been the other way around.
Yeah, you'd
have.
That's
just an opinion. That's an opinion. So.
No worries. There's no wrong way to look at it. It's just us talking about how we interpreted the show and on our first viewing. And speaking of that, man, I'm not gonna lie. Thinking about a lot of different anime deaths, he probably had one of the most. It was probably the most painful.
It was graphic too, like in a sense of like just imagine, like yeah, we just gonna eat you, bro. Like they're just ripping this guy apart and throwing him in the dumpster. It's pretty crazy.
Before they even ate him, they were fucking stabbing the shit out of him.
Yeah, facts.
He was getting worked the whole time, especially the dub version, all you hear is screaming. It's just like, dang, it sounds like it hurts.
Facts.
But cutting towards the end, it sucks that we had to lose Pachita so early in the season, I guess. I mean, we'll see. It sounds like he's gonna be a part of him, like maybe a Naruto Kurama type thing, but sucks to see him be just kind of pushed to the side so early. But interested to see other devils and how the story is going to progress because what's the chick's name again that came at the end? Makima. She looks kind of different. She has like the weird kind of eyes, I guess. She has like a yellow ring around her eyes.
Oh, no, that's different. So that's power, I want to say. So
I thought they both had it. You sure?
Nah. I'm almost positive it's just power that has like the little horns and like the weird eyes. She gets introduced. Well, that's episode 2. You're getting ahead of yourself.
We'll have to double check. We'll throw up a little photograph. I could have sworn they both had like very unique eyes. But other than that, yeah, definitely looking forward to what this is gonna turn into. Looks good so far. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't know where the hype was on the anime. I know it was definitely pushed. A lot of people were talking about it. Has it met the hype? In my opinion, maybe. I just don't know how. It's not like a Attack on Titan hype that I remember when it first dropped on Crunchyroll. Like it was pushed everywhere, advertisement everywhere. I'm not a reader at all for the most part. So when I seen it, it was just like, oh, what is this? And it's just a crazy, it was just so different. Yeah. This in its own right is different. It's pretty graphic as well so far. So I'm looking forward to see how this story and show progresses and what we get out of it.
Yeah, I think that it, to your point, hasn't met the hype. In my opinion, not yet, but it's interesting to see where it goes, and I am willing to kind of like go along for the ride and see where it is because it does have potential. And I think it is, to your point, they started doing things early that are a little bit different, than traditional anime. So I think that might be one of those little things that, like, as a seasoned anime watcher, we might be able to pick up on. Not necessarily someone who is new to it, but just the way that they're doing things, or like to your point, the art style, the animation. We'll see. We'll see for sure.
Okay. What did you think of the intro?
It was, it wasn't, to me. There's intros, that are really, really good. There's intros that are meh. It was somewhere in the middle.
In the middle?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen, there's a lot of references to just cinema in what they do with the characters. Have you seen any of those on like Twitter or anything?
No, I haven't checked that out.
I have to show you what I'm talking about. But there's like a lot of just old flicks that they kind of reenact with the characters on the screen, and it's like picture to picture. I have to show you. It's pretty interesting. Like you said, I didn't feel hyped watching it, but it's maybe that's what they're going for. This is just like a chill vibe. They're like, obviously they're dancing all over the place. So,
and it might be one of those building things. You have animes that have 30, 40 different intros, and then just the way the anime progresses, it might just be one of those builder things where they're just building on top of what they've already started. So, but we'll see. I definitely want to see more. I'm interested. I'm almost caught up, but I'm ready to see where it goes.
Okay. And they didn't have an ending on this first episode, so we'll have to talk about in the next episode what that looked like. See where they go with it, because the show is different in a lot of ways. So especially with the intro, the anime itself is, I'm not gonna say super unique, but it's fairly unique in some of the things they're talking about and what it looks like it's gonna be about. So yeah, definitely curious to see where they take it, and ready for episode 2 recap.
Yes, sir. Well, before we get to that and before we end, let's talk about, of course, it's subs over dubs. So, like Vision mentioned in the beginning, we did watch them in English and we watched them in Japanese. So, give me your take. Was there big differences? Did you like one or the other, or what did you think?
Dubs. So one of the main reasons I've never really cared for dubs is because the voice actors, either it's too corny or too kiddish. Denji's voice actor was okay. Wasn't put off by it, but I wouldn't necessarily watch this series in dubbed over sub.
Am I really surprised?
And that's just my personal preference, but it's not terrible. But there was at no point was there a distinguishing like reason to say sub was better or dub was better. I will say I remember watching it in dub, like I just mentioned, when he's getting stabbed to death essentially. It was pretty violent, but I mean, if I'm looking back at sub, I would say it's similar. So I wouldn't really give the edge to either the animes up to this point to say, oh, this scene definitively painted a different picture, or I felt more emotion from the voice actor in episode 1. So
you gave it a
either
tie?
way, yeah. I mean, I guess we can get it. There's no edge for sure. So
okay,
it would just
that's
come
fair.
down to preference. I wouldn't, yeah.
We know what your preference is. So, but yeah, no, I agree. I think 90% of it was similar, except for me, Denji's voice in sub. To me, like I told you, before, when I have a character and I'm in my mind, I'm like, this is what this character is supposed to sound like. In sub, that was Denji. The one in dub wasn't bad by any means, but I could lean towards my preference in that aspect and go to sub. Dub, I think the background characters, everything, they did solid. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but the zombie devil, that voice actress actually voiced Genkai in Yu Yu Hakusho. So, and then the original Frieza.
I didn't
the
watch
original Frieza in Dragon Ball Z. So to me, that was one of those things where I was like, okay, cool. Like, I like that. Obviously, I like her work and everything that I've watched that she's been in. She does a good job. So to me, a lot of the background characters, the Yakuza bosses, like it was cool. I liked it. But to me, it's gonna have to come down to Denji's voice actor, because that's what we're gonna be really like focusing on in these like next episodes. I'm gonna have to go with sub on this one, just slightly though. Like, just by that one character made the difference to me.
Okay, I'm curious to see the person in the intro, the one with the ponytail and the sword. What he sound? He looks like a cool character. We'll see.
Yeah.
I guess a little bit more in this next episode. But yes, just like you mentioned, definitely no leaning one way or the other. It would just come down to personal preference. But we'll see going forward. I mean, we got a lot of episodes to review, and hey, things can happen really
change
fast.
real quick.
But hey, remember who leaned towards sub, the dub guy over
I
here.
told you I'm not the dub guy.
Hey,
I hate this guy.
You guys will remember everything. Everything's recorded in HD. He says he's not the dub. He doesn't want to claim you guys. Remember that too for all you dub watchers. He doesn't even want to claim you.
I said unbiased. So if it's dub over sub, I'm gonna say it. If it's sub over dub, I'm gonna say it. That's just how I am, man. It's just,
well,
you know, I take everything at face value.
You know what we'll do? We'll let the people decide. So
as always,
thanks again for tuning in. This is gonna be Subs Over Dubs, our anime review, Chainsaw Man, episode 1. Check us out. All our socials will be in the video. Like and follow, subscribe, and so see you next time. Peace.
Later.